Hi, I'm James Bedford. You're joining us here at Cisco Live 2014 in San Francisco, where we're celebrating 25 years of Cisco Live. It's now my honor to introduce our next guest. It's Giuliano Di Vitantonio. Giuliano, how are you?
Very good, thank you. And thanks for having me.
My pleasure, you're welcome. The last time we saw each other was in Milano.
Yeah.
So Milan for Cisco Live for our EMEA customers.
Yeah, back home for me. Of course,
Back
I'm
home for
Italian,
you, of
so
course.
that was home. But home here as well.
Back to
I've
the
been
old
here for more than
country.
10 years, so San Francisco is home too.
So I want to get straight down to what your highlights of Cisco Live are so far. We're day 2. What's the highlights for you?
Yeah, I think some of the things we heard during John's keynote yesterday and Rob's keynote today are really summarizing the big themes. First of all, the Internet of Everything. This is the big disruption that is really reshaping the industry, and the network is at the core of that disruption. So we're working with our partners, with our engineering team to really create the next wave of innovation around the Internet of Everything. So that's a big theme.
Yep.
Then of course yesterday we also introduced a new portfolio for collaboration. So we are really making a new wave of product introduction in collaboration as well. And this morning from Rob we heard a lot about cloud, of course, intercloud, which is our new strategy, and application-centric infrastructure, which is the foundation for everything at the infrastructure level.
Let's focus on that more, ACI.
Okay.
Tell me more about application-centric infrastructure. What is it? What's it going to do?
Okay, so first of all, it's all about automation. Today, the tasks of managing a network are very manually intensive. So there's a lot of work that network administrators have to do in a very manual way.
Yeah.
With application-centric infrastructure, we automate all of that. So we will have a much more centralized approach where there are policies that you can deploy across the network and automate the management of the entire environment. And of course, we do it in a much more application-driven fashion. So instead of looking at the network in isolation, we're really driving it from what are the requirements from the applications, what are the workload requirements that need to be fulfilled by the network. And the profile drives all of that automatically.
So it sounds like we're investing a lot more in software with an application economy moving forward. Is that correct?
Application economy, and also another big disruption in the market is the shift from hardware to software. In terms of the profit pools that used to be in hardware, they are now being moved to software. So Cisco is adapting, and we are investing more and more in software to capitalize on that opportunity.
What has driven this change though?
Well, historically, a lot of the capabilities were built into the hardware because it was the ideal way to do it, both from a performance standpoint and also cost of delivering it. Today, it's actually more cost efficient to do it in software. That's why we're moving part of the intelligence there. But at the same time, we want to retain a tight coupling between the software and the hardware, because that makes a lot of sense from a performance standpoint. So we are really bringing the best of both worlds to market.
And I'm thinking about security here. So how does security play How does security play a role in our software strategy?
Well, first of all, security is one of the main care abouts for all of our customers, starting from very senior customers, the CEOs, the CIOs. They really worry about security. You know, we heard all the stories about Target, what happened there over the Christmas time, where a big security breach compromised the entire company strategy, if you want. It's a care about for the CIOs, because they really want to make sure that their IT environment is protected. And it's a care about for the network buyer as well. So at all levels, security plays a big role. And so we are investing more and more to meet those requirements, both from a software standpoint, a hardware standpoint, but also with services. We are really doing a lot of work with our consulting organization to help customers deploy more secure solutions across their entire environment. So you will hear more and more from Cisco when it comes to security. And of course, it's related also to some of the recent developments with the NSA, the leakage of information. So we are really taking this very, very seriously and addressing it in a very proactive way.
In John Chambers' keynote, he mentioned growth drivers being cloud and mobility, to name just 2 of them. Let's focus on innovation for the future. Where do you see us going?
Well, clearly cloud and mobility are 2 big pillars of innovation. Let me start with cloud. We have announced a very, very different strategy than any of our competitors. Everybody is standing up these clouds, which are very, very important, but they're standing up clouds in isolation from each other. So you will have a lot of computing capacity that runs in one cloud, and then computing capacity that runs in a different cloud. And the role of Cisco is really to bring all of this together, to break down these silos and enable different clouds to interact with each other. Very similar to what we did 30 years ago with the network. The network used to be a set of pockets of network, we call them LAN, we still call them LANs, but they couldn't communicate to each other.
Okay.
Now, what we did back then was to connect those LANs into the internet, and now we're doing the same with cloud. We are connecting the various clouds into what we call the intercloud, because we really want to break down these silos and enable customers to move workloads from one cloud to the other in the way that makes more sense to them.
So move it from one cloud to the other seamlessly and securely.
Seamlessly, securely, and also irrespective of what technology they have. We are hypervisor agnostic, and we enable so customers to take a workload from any cloud they have running on any technology and place into any providers that they want. So you're not locked into one technology, one provider, which is what most of our competitors do. We are really enabling customers to go from any hypervisor to any provider. It's a very revolutionary approach.
Now I know that Cisco Live is such an important week for executives like yourself. You must be meeting with lots of customers. What type of conversations are you having with them?
Well, cloud is one of them. And we talk a little bit about technology, but cloud is not just about technology. Cloud is about business models, changing the way for our customers, the way they source technology. They have a much broader range of sourcing options today, so they want to know what options do we have. We go public, do we go private, do we go hybrid, managed services. They really want to discuss how do I optimize my sourcing strategy. And with our service provider partners, they want to find new ways to monetize their assets. So the conversation is much more around business as much as it is about technology. So cloud is a big driver for that. We mentioned mobility earlier. That's another big driver for the conversations. All of us here work in a completely different way than we used to work 5 years ago.
Of course we do.
None of
us
us
changing all the time, isn't it?
None of us was doing email on the fly. Now we do, right? We have all these devices and we cannot really live without them. And so all of that information, imagine, needs to be channeled through this limited bandwidth that exists and relayed back to the network. And so there's a lot of innovation that takes place around mobility as well. So these are the big themes that customers want to talk about.
And of course the digital disruption is just taking the world by storm. The Internet of Everything as well, mixing that together with mobility, connected mobile experience. We have more devices connected to the Internet now than we did when the Internet started 40 years ago.
And that's nothing compared to what's to come, right? So we know that today only 5% maybe of devices or objects are connected to the internet. Imagine what happens when we have 20, 30, 40% of that. So Internet of Everything is really the unifying vision where everything comes together. It includes Internet of Things, which is an important component when, again, more and more things get connected, but it also connects people through mobility and the devices they carry, connects processes, automating processes more and more, and very, very important data as well. So when you bring all of these elements together, data, process, things, and people, then you really have this unifying theory that will enable everything that matters to be connected, and that's what the Internet of Everything will deliver.
Giuliano, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much. I'm James Bedford. You've been watching us here at Cisco Live. We'll be back soon.